I'm going to use my psychic powers to make a prediction about you. You'd like to do more of the crap that you love and less of the crap that you hate. Am I right? And why am I saying crap so much? This is a book review, for God's sakes. The book in question is Who, Not How, which is an interesting concept that pretty much sums up what this book is all about. So let's stay tuned for an in-depth review and why I think that you should purchase this book. So, Who Not How from Dan Sullivan, the formula to achieve bigger goals through accelerating teamwork. The idea is quite simple. Oftentimes in life we get stuck when there's a how situation. We think in terms of how. How do I solve this problem? How do I accomplish this thing? For example, I just had half of a client drop away out of the blue. That means I need how am I going to fill that giant gap in terms of lost income? We have a lot of big, overwhelming hows in our life that come up from time to time. We don't know what we're going to do with these hows. The suggestion is quite simple. Instead of thinking about how are you going to do something, think about who can either do it for you or who can help you do it. Oftentimes, through collaboration, we get to new ideas, we think bigger, and we free up our time for what we're most valuable at and what we're best at. So some people in this world are very type A people. Some people like spreadsheets and organization. They like spending hours meticulously formatting documents and writing SOPs and all of that. You'll find tons of those people in business. Other people, such as myself, are more creatives. We like coming up with ideas. We like thinking. We like laughing. We like coming up with humor. We have musical sense. But we hate doing mundane, repetitive, and boring tasks. So instead of me doing the spreadsheets, the idea of this book would be that I should find somebody who does all of that stuff for me, and so that I can focus on the areas of what you might have heard of your core genius, right? So he refers to what's called the Pygmalion Effect, if you've never heard of this, which means that you tend to rise to the situation that you're in or lower yourself to the situation you're in. If you're around really intelligent people working really smartly, is that even a word? Then you're going to be smarter yourself, you're going to rise to the occasion. But if you're around people who aren't doing much, then you're going to lower to the occasion. And this has been echoed in many books, from Napoleon Hill to Dale Carnegie, you name it. People have said that you are the average of the 5 closest friends you spend the most time with. Whether that's true or not, it's certainly done the rounds on the internet. So there's so much information that suggests that the people that we're around make a big difference, both in terms of who we hire to do our tasks and who we collaborate with on bigger projects. And this quote he uses from Will Durant, which says, "The ability of the average man could be doubled, or woman, if it were demanded, if the situation were demanded." I love that kind of quote. It's so true. And that refers to the kind of people that we surround ourselves with, for example, when partnering on writing a book. But what about the people that you hire beneath you? I love this quote. "You need to make fewer but better decisions. You need who's to handle all of the involved decisions, whether that be scheduling or organizing, and set the stage for you." That's what I need. I need somebody to do all the other crap so that I can just do this. I can write, I can be funny, I can do all of the creative things that I like doing that somebody else might be terrified of doing, like public speaking, for example. No problem for me, huge fear for so many other people. So you've got all these kinds of really cool ideas that he brings up. And to reiterate the point, he's talking about somebody in the book, and he says he's the only one with direct access to his own brain and vision. So he engages in tasks that only he can do. He gets who's for everything else. And there are a lot of tasks in your life that only you can do, that nobody can do. But if you're spending too much of your time doing the stuff that anybody can do, it might be a good idea to outsource some of those ideas. And he talks about freedom of money, which occurs as you direct your time and attention toward higher impact activities, otherwise known as those activities that are uniquely suited to your solving them, or problems that only you can handle or that you like handling. So this book is a really great thought exercise, and it was suggested to me by one of my podcast guests, John Vong. He said it changed his life as he was building a local SEO agency. And I have to agree that it will get those wheels turning. Something that I wish that the book would address, it talks about the idea that these people that you bring on, they're only an investment and they only can help you. And I do get that. I do think you should invest in building a team. One thing that is not really addressed is what people should do who don't have spare money lying around to get a team. For example, if you can't pay your own bills, whether it's worth it or not, you're not going to be able to spend $1,000 outsourcing some project to somebody else. And I think given especially the times that we're in now, that little point would kick this book up a notch. But I think this book is sort of assuming that you have some capital to work with. Maybe you're moderately successful. Maybe you have a business that's already working a little bit fairly well, but not quite where you want to be. Then this book is squarely aimed at you. If you're comfortable individually and you're just looking to scale, this book is something that you need to pick up. It will give you a lot of new ideas about how you can better maximize your time. So I do wholeheartedly recommend that you pick up this book. Again, it's a way of thinking that a lot of entrepreneurs have. Chris Do of The Future famously said, "You sell what you can do, I sell what anybody can do," talking about his agency. And we tend to take on projects and clients that only we can solve. But the reality is that as you're building a business, you need to have other people who can do the things that you are bad at. So that's the idea in a nutshell. But then one more quick point here. He also talks about the idea of collaboration being a form of who. Not only can you delegate tasks that you don't like, but you can also find experts or other people that can augment your own abilities. So you can, for example, team up with somebody, as he did when he wrote this book. Funny little footnote here, Dan Sullivan didn't actually write this book, and they make a point about it, about how he found a who to write the book for him, which you don't often see bragged about, let's say, in a book like this. It happens all the time. And in fact, one of my other podcast guests has a service for outsourcing book writing with ghostwriters, or what he calls angel writers. So it's just kind of a little funny twist there in this book. But again, if you haven't been thinking about this kind of stuff, get this book, get those wheels turning. I think for many of us who are like me, we need to start thinking in more of a business model, less of an individual doing it model, because that's how we get burned out. And when we collaborate with people, they bring new energies to the table. They can often help us expand our vision and achieve things that are much greater. As an individual, I might only want to get one more client to pay my bills, but for a company or a collaboration, we might want to do something that changes something that has a much bigger impact down the road. So, Dan Sullivan, Who Not How. Highly recommend this book. It's a quick read, it's a light read, but still, I think you're gonna really enjoy it. Pick it up, it might change your life. Thank you, John Vong, for recommending this to me. It was a great book. I really appreciate the tip. It was a great read. If you like more of these kinds of book reviews, please subscribe. If you like educational content with a little bit of humor, just a touch, not a lot, just a touch, hit that subscribe button gently, don't injure it. Leave a comment, thumbs up, all of the good things. Let me know that you're out there. Drop a line, especially if you like this book and it's changed your life.